Of the 4 C's of effective board member behavior, caring, curiosity, courage, and communication, which one is most commonly missing? In other words, where can most boards boost their effectiveness? This is especially important in the aftermath of the Champlain Towers South tragedy, where we realized the consequences of ineffective board leadership can be far more severe than we ever imagined. The C, where most boards can do a much better job, is communication. Too many boards focus on the tasks at hand, not communicating the implications of what they're doing. That allows a gap to open between the owners and the association. Every homeowner naturally cares primarily about their own situation. That's human nature. But communication is the tool that can change a homeowner's perspective from thinking only about me and my unit to the bigger picture of we and our association. And that's the key, enlisting all your communication skills and tools so that association concerns become the concerns of the homeowners. Effective communication changes the me to we and blends the board and homeowners into one team where budgets get passed and property values are maximized. When the board communicates well, they're able to act effectively, making the present less stressful and the future more secure.
And let's talk very briefly about the communication that needs to go on. People ask all the time, well, should we do that or should we have a newsletter? Yes, if you're not doing it, you should. And if you are one of these boards, like this last board at Champlain Towers, and you are looking at a large assessment or an increase in assessments because that's what was handed to you by maybe 20 years of previous boards or even longer, and you're the ones who decided to take this and run with it, communication is everything. And you need to have a strategy, a thought out strategy about what you're going to communicate every month. You should have a newsletter, electronic, whatever you're doing, newsletter or an e-blast. Maybe you want to change it up and have a town hall. Maybe the next time you want to have your attorney come in and speak to the owners. You might have to pay someone to write your newsletter for you if you just someone doesn't have the skill set to do it. But all of that, even if you have to pay your attorney to come and talk to everyone, but all of that is a small contribution for the overall health of the community, financial health, operational health, and its mental health. And you know what? All communities have a personality. Some are bulldogs and some are lap dogs and some are golden retrievers. So it's true. The golden retrievers are the easy ones. Okay. But everyone has that personality. So you're going to have to understand that you can't just send out a newsletter and forget it for 6 months and then tell everybody, wow, we're going to special assess everybody 10 grand. Yeah, you're going to have torches and pitchforks.
You haven't brought them up to speed. If you as a board member know that we're continually borrowing from reserves for the operational expenses. We haven't made the recommended reserve contributions for years. You know that you're coming up to a crisis situation. You need to prepare the homeowners for that. Just like if you were going to try to run a marathon, you need to start slow and begin the process. Here we are in August. If you see this coming, you need to begin preparing your homeowners that there is going to be an increase next year. We have enjoyed years of low assessments, but we need to start getting real about things and maybe have some testimonials from owners, how great it was in their other association. And here we're trying to be more like it, to enlist the community. I think communication is probably one of the 4 C's, perhaps the most underappreciated.
It is underappreciated, and I get it because it takes a lot of time and people think, I don't know how to write well or whatever, but that communication has to be there. And Robert, you gave a great illustration of communication about the balconies. Would you regale us with that story? That's really good.
Yeah, I had one association, mid-size, mid-rise condo association, where they had 2 balconies off one building that with dry rot had crumbled and fallen. And the board knew that it was identical construction all throughout the association, and they're going to have to do all the balconies. And so they said, we need a special assessment, and the special assessment failed. That's just because they said, what do you guys think about a special assessment? And the homeowner said, no. And so what they did was
says yes.
No, they took the debris from the 2 failed balconies and set it by the entry gate of the association. And so every day when those homeowners came in and out, they started to realize that, oh, my balcony is going to look like that in another year or two. And the board re-proposed the special assessment, and it passed a second time because they had enlisted the homeowners to understanding the magnitude of the problem. And it became their problem, not just, oh, gee, too bad for those people in unit 104 and 105.
Yeah, I don't look at them. They're over there. I don't see it. But boy, there's the balconies right by the entry gate. Very creative. Were they in LA? Were they a creative?
They were in LA. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very creative. I mean, and I hate that it has to go that way, but Robert's right. You can't just go to people and say, oh, we have to do this right now. It's communication continually, and not even when things are dire or bad or there's going to be a special assessment. But as professionally, I would tell everyone, you should communicate with your owners all the time. Every month, there should be something going out, because when people know and they trust you as board members with what you're doing, again, it gives you great integrity. But also when you're communicating to them, you're bringing those people into the process of the management of the administration of the community. And people, a part of the process, have a tendency they want to be a part of a good process. And then they don't become a part of the angry mob coming to the nearest annual meeting, with their torches and pitchforks. If they feel they're in good hands, yes.
When they see themselves as part of the association,
yes.
Not just the owner of unit number 501.
Right.
And they say, this is my association. And they begin to appreciate what's going on, and their care, what used to be just their unit, now becomes my association.
Yes. And what everyone forgets, especially when you live in condominiums, is that, or not everyone, but a lot of people see a tendency to think, well, we're not going to fix that. Well, I'm not going to fix that. We're not going to fix that. Well, owners forget that they are the landlords. There is no landlord going to come in and fix this. You're not in an apartment. You're in an apartment-like space, but you are the landlord. You are in condominiums. You're typically deeded 1%, whatever. If there's 100 condominiums, you're deeded 1/100th of that. So, as opposed to HOAs where the HOA is deeded the common area. So you actually are the landlord. And for board members, that's kind of a nice little thing to remember, to tell them, we're the landlords, folks. We are, all of us, all 20 of us, or 70 of us. Yes.
Yeah.
At Association Reserves, we make the present less stressful and the future more secure. If you want to join us in this mission, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Leave a comment down below on what you would like to see us address in a future video. Let's plan for your best future.